Hi, my name is Mandy Chiscuff and I'm a yoga instructor here at Orange. Today I'm going to show you one low lunge that will hopefully change your life. So today we're going to start off. If you have a yoga mat, coming to the top of your mat. If you don't, if you're in your living room, wherever you are, just start with your feet hip distance apart, parallel to each other. So I'm going to come up to the top of my mat. Here, feet are parallel to each other. If the legs are straight and you're hurting your low back here, bend your knees as much as you need, just to get a little more space and comfort. So we're gonna start with the right foot forward, so stepping the left foot back, taking a nice big step back. We're gonna start with a nice low lunge here. You want your right foot straight forward. It's okay, there's systems out there where you want your knee in line with your ankle on low lunges. I was trained that it's okay to have the knee track over your ankle on the low lunges, so feel free to play around with this. The only thing, if you do have pain in your knees, you want to back out, and always back out of a posture if you have pain in your knees. You never want that, and readjust, ask your instructor, and just dig in to see what's happening there. So if you're in this low lunge and your back knee is sensitive, I encourage you to fold your mat like this, just to get a little extra cushion. You could also place a small towel under your back knee as well. That's also a nice way to have it. And then yeah, so basically you're here, you're gonna glide forward and you're gonna stay here for 2 minutes. So as you're here, if you're just doing this posture, it's not the same if you're breathing. So you wanna breathe in through your nose, take a full deep breath, and out through your nose. You can stay here for 2 minutes. Just keep breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. And all you're doing is really lengthening the front of the left hip so that we're getting more space here. In the West, we have very, very short, basically the muscles are really short here. And so you're almost gonna be like this, and then it alters your spine. You're compensating. So you wanna try to get nice and long in the fronts of the hips. So this low lunge is gonna help with this. If you sit at work, if you're sitting a lot, if you're a driver, a truck driver, or you're just driving a lot, traveling a lot, opening up the space is gonna give you so much more space in your body. So staying in this low lunge for 2 minutes, and then when you're done, I encourage you to come back up to your forward fold. Feet are hip distance apart, parallel to each other. So the inner seams are parallel to each other. And then bend your knees as much as you need. I'm gonna show you the other side. So if you did the low lunge, hands are down either side of your front foot, say 2 minutes on that side, 2 minutes on this side, and then I will show you another variation. So if you would like to get a little bit higher, a little bit deeper into this posture, just take the block. So there's different heights. There's this level, and there's this level. And if you don't have blocks, maybe buckets, books, something that you can just place your hands on to use, just basically anything that will give you support to hold your top body up. And so again, it's okay if the knee tracks over the ankle. If you need that extra padding for your back knee, fold the mat, place a little towel underneath it, making sure you're as comfortable as can be. Good, and then as the right foot is straight forward, knee tracks over the second toe. Sometimes the knee wants to come out or fall in, so to really keep that alignment. And then hands on the blocks. Here we're gonna lift our heart up, draw your shoulder blades down your back, and like there's a string on the top of your head pulling you really, really high, right through to the crown of your head. Your chin slightly tucks in, and we're gonna stay here for 2 minutes. And we're gonna breathe in through our nose, and out through our nose. And I do encourage you to have a timer if you're not familiar with what 2 minutes feels like in a low lunge. Signs to come out of the posture. If your breath becomes really, really choppy and you can't soothe the breath just by noticing it, you definitely want to come out of the posture. If 2 minutes is too long, so maybe start with 10 seconds, start with 20 seconds. If you're in the posture and you're noticing the body starting to tremble and shake a bit, and you can't soothe that trembling with your breath or with your mind, you definitely want to back out again. That's when your nervous system is starting to change a bit. So you kind of think of it as rewiring your house. So you want to back out a bit and then revisit it again. And if you can't make it up to 2 minutes, that's totally fine. Just stay as long as you can, find your breath, and then come back out. So thank you for listening. Our hips are the largest joint in our body, so it's taken quite a bit of time for our hips to get where they're at. They take a lot of impact, they hold a lot of emotion, stress, things are stored there. So it's really important, and I'm a huge fan of opening up your hips. Hopefully these low lunges Literally just taking, I showed you 2 variations, so take whatever one feels best for you. Stay for 10 seconds, really honor your body, that's most important. Stop whenever you need to. Yeah, and I encourage you, maybe grab your friends, your family, practice it together, and do it as a fun thing, because it is really fun. And yeah, the most important relationship you have is the one with yourself, so make it a good one.
Hi everyone, I am Dr. Diana Draper. I am a naturopathic physician in Castlegar, BC. Welcome to our episode, our August episode of Healthy Human. Today I want to focus on lung health because there are tons of forest fires going on all around us in our region right now, which means our air is a lot more polluted with smoke. So if you're someone who doesn't have lung issues but noticing lately that your lungs are feeling more tight, you're having more of a cough, you're feeling more run down, or if you're someone who suffers from asthma, COPD, or chronic lung issue, this is some information. You might want to grab a pen and write it down. So our lungs are fundamental to our overall survival. When we breathe in, we take oxygen from the environment, breathe it down to the bottom of our lungs, our blood picks it up and transports it all over our body. And as it's dropping oxygen off, it's picking up carbon dioxide, and we are breathing that out. So it's really important that our lungs stay healthy because they are fundamental to getting oxygen to every part of our body, including our brain. Signs that your lungs aren't doing so well: cough, wheezing, but also fatigue, foggy brain, having a hard time sleeping, shortness of breath when you're doing any form of exercise or exertion. Those are all starting to be warning signs that your lungs are having a hard time exchanging gases. So especially right now when our air is polluted with more smoke, we want to make sure that we're taking care of our lungs as well as we can. So I'm going to give you 2 at-home treatments you can do every day to keep your lungs healthy. The first is a poultice. So you're going to take mustard seed powder, add hot water, and you're going to make a paste. And then you're going to apply that paste to a piece of cotton, or you're going to put it directly onto your chest. If you put it directly onto your chest, just watch for a burning sensation. This shouldn't be painful. You shouldn't be burning yourself. And also watch if you have an allergy to mustard. This is not the best idea. You can use potato instead. What you're going to do is you're going to put the poultice, so the mustard seed paste with the cotton, onto your chest. Cover that with another piece of cotton, then plastic, and then wool. This is going to insulate the mustard powder, and it's going to cause your lungs to vasodilate, which means they're going to open. And they're also going to cause any breakup of mucus, phlegm, anything that's in your lungs that's been compiling with you breathing in all the smoke outside. So you're going to leave this on for about 30 minutes a day, and it's going to help to really open up your airways again, which means you're going to get more oxygen into your body and more carbon dioxide out of your body. The second trick that I want to recommend to everybody to do every day is steam inhalations. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a essential oil like a eucalyptus or a peppermint, something again that's a vasodilator. So a vasodilator opens up our airways. You're going to boil a pot of water, and then you're going to drop about five drops, depending on how much water you have, of the essential oil into the boiled water. Now for the active ingredients in the essential oil to be effective, they need to hit hot boiling water. So you have to do this with boiling water. Drop the essential oils into the water, then get a towel, put your head over top of the boiling water and cover the towel over top of your head and the pot of water. So you're making about a tent around the pot of water. Now, you don't want to burn your face, so make sure that you're staying away from the steam, but you do want that heat and that steam to be activating all of the volatile oils in the essential oils. So you're going to put your head over top of the water after you've put your peppermint or eucalyptus drops in the hot water, and then you're going to put a towel over top of that, and you're going to sit and breathe over top of that from anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, depending on your comfort level. Again, what that's going to do is open up your lungs. It's going to help move mucus out, anything that's getting trapped in there. So it's really common to cough during this time, and if you're coughing up stuff, the better. And it's really important to just breathe relaxed and breathe deep. So those are two really easy at-home things that you can do during this time when we have a lot of air pollution, or if you're someone who suffers from chronic lung issues, to keep your lungs healthy, to ensure that you're getting as much oxygen circulating throughout your body as possible, and to give yourself as much vitality as you can have. I hope you enjoyed this session of Healthy Human, and we'll see you again next month.
Hello everyone, my name is Marita and I am super excited to show you some of my favorite glute and hamstring exercises. They are super fun. So let's begin with a little warm up. We are going to start with some plie squats. So taking our feet out wide, these are multi-joint exercises and it's just going to help us warm up our body overall in general. So just coming down to where it feels good, gradually getting that breathing rate and heart rate up. So knees are wide, toes are wide, chest is up. Good. Now we're going to hold it down here at the bottom and do a few little pulses. If you stay up higher, it'll be a little bit easier. So as we warm up, that might be a good idea. Going down further is harder. So let's pulse it out. All right, so coming back out of our pulses, we're gonna come up to the big plie squats again. We're gonna do about 8 of them. So as you do these plie squats, you wanna just make sure you're not feeling it in your knees at all. Any pain in your knees, just again, don't go down quite as far. All right, I think that's about 8. Let's go back down to our little pulses. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, next up we're gonna do some split squats. So if you're a beginner, I would suggest grabbing onto a chair or table, something that's sturdy. And then we're just going to slowly lower down and up, keeping that knee aligned as much as possible over our ankle. That's the goal. And you have a fairly wide or long stance. The further you come down, the harder it will be. So again, think about this as your warm up, not wanting to take it too far. Again, with flexibility levels here too. The more you do this, the lower you'll be able to go. All right, excellent. Let's do the other leg now. So these again are multi-joint exercises, which are helping us to just warm up the entire body before we get down, and we're gonna do some isolated glute and hamstring movements to really strengthen those areas which often become weak from sitting. All right, so coming out of our split squat, we are now going to come into regular squats. So with the feet about hip width apart, we're going to slowly come down and up, keeping the chest and head up once again. Good. Sitting back as if you're going to sit in a chair. Keeping the weight in your heels. All right, I think that's about 8 reps. We are going to move to the floor now. So I invite you to come down onto either your hands and your knees or your forearms and your knees. So if you have any type of wrist issue, you may prefer to do this from your elbows or your forearms. So lining up your elbows right underneath your shoulder, or if you're on your hands, same thing, hand underneath your shoulder. All right, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna flex one foot and we're gonna lift it up and down. Nice and slow and controlled, keeping our head in line with our spine. So this really isolates, like I said, our glute, so one of the biggest muscles in our bum. And it also really works the hamstrings. These muscles, like, it's super easy for them to become weak when we do a lot of sitting. So, yeah, it's really important to do lots of these glute exercises. All right, everyone, so now we're gonna switch it over to the other side, and I'm gonna show you how you can make it harder this time. So if you have a dumbbell at home, something like a 5 or an 8 would work well for this. Otherwise, if you don't have that, feel free to use a canned good. So you can use a small or large can. I'll show you with a big one how it works. So you're just gonna stick it into the knee crease, and then you're gonna come down again, lining up the elbow or hand underneath the shoulder, and then flexing that foot so that the heel is pointing up towards the ceiling. Again, we'll do 15 to 20 reps on this side. One important point here is whenever you are pushing up, that's when you want to breathe out, and then you want to breathe in on the way down. Okay, so now for the fun variations of this exercise. So I would do one set of each of those, and then I would go to this cool variation. So I'm gonna go back to the first side once again, tuck that weight in, and then this time you can take the knee across the body. All right, so you could do, like I said, 15 to 20 reps of just the regular ones, and then you could do 15 to 20 reps of these crossovers. And if you do them back to back, it'll just make it that much harder. You'll feel a really nice burn. Feel those glutes getting nice and strong. All right, so we'll say that this is our 15th rep right here. And now I'm going to show you another variation. So coming down, once you've done a set on each side, I'm gonna invite you to plant your hand out to the side, and then for this next one, you're gonna bring your knee in towards your elbow and then extend that foot back. So in and out. Super cool, super fun. It's especially hard on the third set. So if you've done the first two variations, then this one, you're really gonna feel it. At least I hope. So in and out, in and out. Again, breathing out as you press the leg up, and in as you come towards your elbow. Nice strong core, so drawing that belly button in towards your spine is really important, but make sure you're continuing to breathe as you do that. Awesome. Okay, so just a couple reps on the other side just to even things out. So planting the right hand this time, bringing the knee in, and then extending that leg, in and extending. Again, flexing that foot that's up in the air. It's important with your breathing too that it's most important that you're doing a natural breath. So if you're finding it really hard to focus and breathe out as you press up and breathe in as you come in towards the elbow, the most important thing is to just breathe naturally and to breathe. All right, so we'll pretend that's 15 reps on this side. And there you have it. That is the first glute and hamstring exercise. Next, I'm going to show you some bridge exercises and variations. I'm going to turn onto my back, and so you're going to slowly lower down, and you're going to plant your feet about hip width apart. With this exercise, it's important to really plant through the heels and keep the weight in the heels. So the first level is to bring your hips up towards the ceiling while squeezing your butt cheeks. Hands are down by your sides, and you can just breathe here and hold it as an isometric. Isometric just means holding exercise. So this would be sort of like level 1. To make this a little more interesting, you could do a bum lower and raise. So you can even lift your toes here, and that will really force the weight to stay in your heels, and that will really focus on, it'll make the muscles of the glute and hamstring work more. All right, so that's sort of variation 1. Another variation here is to bring the knees in and out. So this is sort of another beginner variation. And if this is still easy, the next variation is going to be considerably harder. So, and it's really important to listen to your body with this one. So if that's difficult, then I would suggest staying there for a while before trying this next one. So the next one is a single leg exercise. So you can lift one leg and then lower it. So you're strictly using the one side. And like I said, it's considerably harder, so it's fun, but you should be careful with this one. You don't want to push too hard and cause any injuries. So tummy's nice and tight, drawing the belly button in towards the spine. Keep breathing. Again, I would say to do about 30 seconds to 1 minute of each exercise. Okay, a couple more hard exercises or hard variations of this are, so to extend when you're on one leg, you can extend that leg up in the air and then press the hips down and up. Super fun, very effective, and that's that. So you even things out, doing the other leg. Awesome. All right, so we'll pretend we've done about 30 seconds to a minute on that side. This is the last variation, and it is to come up again on one leg, and then you can lift your leg up and down. So leg raises. Keeping those hips pressed nice and high. Good, and then on the other side. This time you're pointing your toe. And then slowly lower down. All right, so I hope you enjoyed those cool leg and bum exercises. Do a couple sets at home, and it won't take very long, maybe 15 minutes to run through them twice. And yeah, enjoy, have fun with it.
Hi, it's Mandy again. I hope your hips are feeling wonderful. Your hips and your shoulders are the gateway to your spine. So today I'm going to show you a couple exercises, postures to open up your shoulders. Usually you'll see this common posture, rounding forward, kind of protecting the heart. This is a common posture when we're doing computer work. It feels more safe sometimes in this position. But over time, if we keep doing this again and again, our spine will stay like this, and we're going to be using a cane to just basically compensate our spine and be able to move. So these exercises are going to help counterbalance it and hopefully help you find some balance within your body and in your everyday life. So I'm going to have Rena come in here, and she's going to be demonstrating the postures and the exercises. So as you see, Rena is really rounded forward, her shoulders are forward, she's getting this nice round back, and then over time she's going to be needing a cane to support herself. So these exercises, really just doing them once a day if you can, it doesn't take very long, will really help. So I'm going to have Rena start with her feet hip distance apart, parallel to each other. She's going to reach right up through to the crown of her head, standing nice and tall. Good. Her heart is lifted really, really high, but we want to make sure that her core is engaged. So the lower set of her ribs, we're going to draw back towards her spine, tailbone down, and her navel draws back towards her spine. So as you see, the back of her neck's starting to get short a bit here. So we just want to make sure that the crown of her head's reaching up, her chin is slightly tucked in. So she has a nice long spine. The shoulder blades are reaching back together behind her back body, so the back body's toning, the muscles are slightly engaged, her heart's nice and open. And then I'm just going to have Rena do 3 smooth, deep breaths in through her nose, because the breath connects the body to the mind. So without it, it's way different standing here than if you're not breathing. So breathing, smooth, deep breaths, just getting nice and centered. Good, and then I'm going to have Rena take her shoulders up to her ears, roll them forward, down and back, just doing nice big circles, as big as you can get, getting lots of movement in your shoulders. Just starting to warm them up a bit. Maybe doing about 5-10 circles forward, breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. And then I'll have Rena do 10 backwards. And then just being aware when you're doing these shoulder rolls backwards, noticing what it feels like to have the shoulder blades on your back body, because they're part of the back body. Good. And then we'll have your shoulder blades on your back body, heart is lifted. And then here I'm gonna have Rena take her hands behind her back, interlock your fingers, roll your shoulder blades together behind your back body, heart is lifted, taking a big breath. Inhale and exhale. So really squeezing the muscles in the upper back here, making sure they're nice and engaged, and then just feeling nice and open through your collarbones, your heart, and just really toning the back body so the muscles are getting strong and the heart's getting open. Because usually when we're rounded forward, the back muscles, the shoulders, they're really relaxed, they're flexible, and here it gets really tight. So we're doing the opposite. Good, and then if you would like to go a little bit farther, just take a full breath, inhale, and then exhale, we're gonna hinge forward at our hips, and we're gonna pull our hands away from our back body. And the back can round a bit here, but you just wanna start to breathe into the shoulders. If at all this is too much, you definitely wanna back out, or bring the hands closer to the back body. And then again, finding your breath. So maybe staying here for about a minute if you can. If that's too long, stay as long as you can and then back out. Good, and then one more breath here, inhale. And exhale. Good, and then just as you inhale, come up, the hands pull you up, head comes up last, and exhale. Good, so that's just a nice way to warm up your shoulders, build some strength, and get some flexibility in your chest. And then here I want to show you a passive posture that you can use at home. So I'll have Rena come down to the mat. This is a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, I have 2 towels that I'm going to roll up and show you how to use like a bolster. So these are folded up this way, here at Orange. However you have them folded, just make sure that you have your towel folded in half. And taking your time, making sure it's even, because if it's lumpy in some spots, it's going to open up your back in a crooked way. So really taking your time, making sure it's nice and even. We're going to roll. So if it's kind of like this and it's going to be bigger on one side, that's what it's going to do for your spine when you're opening it up. So really take your time. Good, and then if this isn't quite big enough, I like the bolster's pretty big under my spine. So we're just going to do it again. Actually, make it even this way. And again, if you want it even bigger, do another towel, another one. But notice how nice and even this is. And then we're just gonna have Rena sit on her bottom. So the sit bones are on the mat. We're gonna place the towels or bolster, maybe a big blanket if you have a big blanket, just at the sacrum. And then we're gonna have Rena bring her spine down onto the towels here. And if that edge is pretty sharp at the lower back, you could also maybe place a book underneath your sit bones, just lift them up a little bit higher. So there's a few options here to have your legs. You can have, if you want more of a hip opener, the soles of your feet can come together, knees can fall out to the sides. And sometimes this is really strong for the hips, so if it is too much, you can always roll up a towel and place a towel. If you have blocks or books, you can place it underneath the thigh just for support. Because this posture, we want to be completely relaxed and passive. This is a restorative posture. So arms out by your sides, good, palms facing up, and just allow your shoulders to relax here. We don't have any effort. We might, when we're in this posture, you want to try to relax and have no effort if possible. So we'll have Rena, good, close your eyes just to sink in a little bit more, and take a big breath into your belly, into your chest, and then exhale, let it go. Good, and just a couple more smooth, deep breaths. So I encourage you to stay here for 5 minutes if you can. A minute is great, any length of time is great, whatever suits you best. But here, just really allowing your body layer by layer and the muscles to slowly release and let go. And then this is really going to allow the shoulders to drop and the space to lengthen in a passive way. And I find restorative postures, they don't just get the muscles, they get a really, really deep layer. So overall, your whole body feels relaxed and more open. And then as you're here breathing as well, I encourage you to just focus on your heart center, your heart region, the front and the back, just to notice the space and start to get comfortable with what it feels like to be nice and open, because we might be comfortable like this. So just starting to retrain yourself, get comfortable with your heart lifted, nice and tall and strong and beautiful.